From the On Target Digital Marketing Podcasting Studios in sunny Orlando, Florida, it's the T Squared Tech Talk Podcast with Tom Jelnick and Tom Craig. It's frickin' Friday afternoon. You know what that means, Tom.
It means it's another edition of the wonderful T Squared Tech Talk Podcast.
And it is wonderful.
It is.
I'm your host, Tom Jelnick. I'm joined with the amazing
Tom Craig sitting on this side of the table.
You are. And ASSI, Advanced System Solutions,
That's right.
You can really get behind his company, my friends.
Hauling ass around town today.
Ah, I like what you did there.
Yeah.
Hauling ass.
That we are.
And you had the windows down today.
It is a beautiful Central Florida day out there. I tell you, this is why we live where we do, Tom.
You're damn right. It's 82 degrees. It's warm. There's birds chirping. Matthew's listening to Dolly Parton. It's a very special day.
We're all in the zone.
We are in the zone.
Yeah.
It was a good week this week.
It was a crazy week. Crazy busy, crazy unusual. We had a wonderful luncheon this week.
We did.
Very grateful for everyone who showed up.
Some great people. Hopefully some new T Squared Tech Talk podcast listeners.
That's right. We welcome everyone.
With open arms, Tom. That is just the kind of guys we are.
Amen.
And just, if you're listening for the first time, our mission here is really quite simple. We make fun of the in-laws. I mean, that's first and foremost, right?
Yep.
I mean, so if that's going to cause you issues, then I'd say go listen to another podcast.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Especially if you're my in-laws.
Yeah, specifically Tom's. So, we chat about that a little bit. We want to have some fun, but we want to take tech and bring it down a couple levels. For maybe those of you who are maybe new to your smartphone, maybe you're worried about some security at your business. We're here to break tech down in a fun, amazing, laughable way. Right, Tom?
That's right. And if you've got some ideas or things you're curious about, feel free to drop us a line, and we'll make that a topic of discussion here on the podcast.
We'll take your sound questions and drop them right into our mail sack, Tom, won't we?
Look forward to it. I know how much you enjoy digging deep into the mail sack.
Yeah,
there.
we get in there, we move things around, and sometimes it's really warm and moist in there. So it's really our job to inform, educate you, and just talk geek speak, but bring it down a couple notches, right?
That's right.
So today...
another security kind of day.
Yeah, and I know how much you love your Android device, Tom.
Well, it serves me well, and but it has its flaws as well. The Google Play Store this week announced that there was some malware found in some of the apps on the store there.
Malware schmalware, Tom.
I tell you, those apps, you got to be careful when you're downloading.
And let me tell you this quick story.
Yeah?
So... nefarious apps can be dressed as wolves in sheep's clothing, Tom.
That's right. And ding, 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 ding on the nefarious.
Oh, thank you. I slid it right in there.
Yep.
So, but listen, there was a point in time where there was a flashlight app, and it wasn't just Android. I hate to admit, it was actually on the Apple too, but it was not an Apple product, Tom. It just happened to live on the Apple if you downloaded it. But there was this flashlight that somehow, for some reason, required access to your camera, to your audio, pretty much to your whole damn life.
Okay.
So it wanted access. You had to click the button to give it. So here you are, Tom. You're stumbling. You get up in the middle of the night, right? You trip over the dog. You trip over the in-laws. You trip over all those cracker crumbs and prunes that they're dropping into the couch.
Story of my life.
Amen, brother. So you whip out your trusty Android. You light up that flashlight app.
Yep.
Guess what it's doing?
Taking data.
It's taking data and it's sending it to where, Tom?
The nefarious characters.
In?
It's two places.
It is?
It's either one of the stands.
Kurzblakistan.
Yep. Or down in Mom's basement.
In Milwaukee.
That's right.
Yeah, why do I always pick on Milwaukee?
I don't know, because it's cold.
It is cold.
And it's easy.
Poor bastards.
That's it. Amen.
It's 82 here. Did I say that?
Yeah, we invite all of you Milwaukeeans down to the Orlando area for a little bit of warmth.
Yeah, and leave that shit beer you guys drink up there. Just leave it there. We don't need it down here.
Wouldn't have made it through high school without it, Tom.
Was it Natty Light, Milwaukee's Beast? Remember those?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Good times.
Good times.
So, but this particular flashlight app was just determined to be, linked into those fine folks in Kurzblakistan. And Tom, they're getting all the data. They're picking up the in-laws snoring and farting on the couch. That's how much data they're grabbing.
That's detailed right there.
Yeah.
And that's more than anybody needs. I can tell you from firsthand experience.
Yeah, nobody has time for that.
No.
But the guys in mom's basement with the wife beaters, chunking down pizza, and then those guys in the stables working in Kyrgyzstan, they're using that data.
Yep. And compiling it all for sale on the dark web.
The dark web.
The more they can put together as far as a profile in relation to you and those around you, the more that profile is worth selling off to someone else.
They really peel back that onion, am I right, Tom?
That's right. Many layers there, Tom.
See what layers.
I do.
With the dark web joke?
I did.
That was a really high-level geek tech speak joke right there.
Yeah,
but
well, I think two may have gotten it, but we'll take it from there.
I bet you the guy who talks about blockchain got that one.
Yeah, I'd say you're right. We'll find out, Ian. If you're listening in, drop us a line. Let us know.
He's busy driving cars around in circles right now, or playing with brake pads, from what I saw last.
So he is solidifying my observation of Ian that I believe that he is a real life Tony Stark.
Oh yeah,
he's just living the life out there in those classic race cars going round and round in circles on the track.
Yeah, like a multi-millionaire type guy,
looking like an awful lot of fun. But I digress.
Yeah, where the hell were we going with that?
I don't know, but we're just talking technology and technical people and
tentacles.
Did you? I got nothing.
Okay, all right then. Come on. Yeah, pull up. Okay, so, but the dark web, the drive with these people is they want to grab as much data as they can. They build a profile, like you mentioned, and then they're going to sell your deets to some other nefarious doofus who's going to probably create a bank account in your name or apply for credit.
Yep.
I've even heard of people going and building a medical insurance profile.
Really?
And this is no joke. And going to get, sounds terrible, but they're getting their cancer treated on someone else's medical record because they were able to pull a Social Security and build a profile very similar. Something? Yeah. So these insurance companies, God love them, and their inefficiencies, 2 years down the road, they finally figure out it was the wrong person, and all the money, they put them into collections, and it's the wrong person.
And here, I can't even buy a bottle of wine without two forms of ID.
Hell yeah.
But
yeah, you can go get a boob job on someone else's medical medical record.
Never ceases to amaze me, Tom, what they're doing with that data.
Are you getting a boob job, Tom?
Well, and I am now that I know I can do it on somebody else's dime.
Yeah, dig into that, man.
Look out, call me Tamika. I'm here.
Tamika Craig.
That's right.
It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
It goes back to 7th grade.
I bet your Uncle Bob's been down that road.
Yeah, Auntie-Uncle Bob.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, lest we forget.
Yes. But no, and that's exactly what they're doing. They take the third-party apps that are being installed on your devices. There's data being collected by those apps. Then they take the data from each one of those and they compile it best they can. And that's where it's that we take into account the malware that was discovered in the Google Play Store. There were some other things that were discovered recently. Am I correct, Tom?
In Google, yes, I'm sure.
Okay,
yes, I'm sure on a PC product there was all kinds of crap that's been discovered recently.
Nothing in the Apple Store? Nothing in regards to taking any third-party data, fingerprints, habits?
Doesn't sound familiar, Tom.
Okay, I could have sworn I heard something about that today in the news. But yeah, it's a...
I know what it was.
Okay.
It was a whole bunch of apps made by other vendors, not necessarily Apple.
Okay.
They just happened to wiggle their way into the Apple into the Apple Store.
Uh-huh.
So what happened there was somebody told Apple, hey, listen, guys, it's not cool. What's going on here is I'll download an app, and it's tracking where my fingers are clicking, and it also can track what I'm typing, and it can also track my habits and what I'm browsing, and sends all that data back to that maker of these apps. So Apple, of course, being the wise company that it is, has said, you can't do that anymore. We're not going to let you do that. So they're going to try to shut down all these apps that are actually stealing the way. And, I'm sure if you read the fine print on all the legal crap that these guys put out, that you're agreeing to do this, but it's not right to the consumer to track all that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the point of this is the fact that I tried to talk Tom into saying something negative about Apple, as I have already paid Matthew off in advance to obtain a recording of today's show. And I was going to use said recording to slice and dice it and get out there on the interweb and come up with my own, auto-tuned Jelnik Apple song.
You'd do that, would you?
I was really hoping. I had this planned out like hours in advance. I was ready, but the point is that it doesn't matter where it is, and well, the point is this: that a lot of people think, well, I don't care. You know, what are they're not going to want my data. I don't care if they see what I'm typing because I really don't have anything to hide, and I completely appreciate that point of view. As I'm in the same way, there's nothing illegal that I'm doing that I have to fear the government coming after me, but I do have to fear.
And that's a big butt, Tom.
That is a big butt, huge butt.
Like the in-laws.
That's right. That's right. But the point being is that it doesn't matter if you're doing only positive things in your life. The data that they're taking, they're still compiling a profile of you to maybe come after your insurance company, as you were saying, and get a boob job or something, or treat the cancer. It's just, you know, so even if you think to yourself, well, I'm not too concerned about, you know, security and privacy. I'd rather have the government be able to find out the nefarious characters before they're able to do dastardly deeds.
Yeah, and get a hold of your tentacles, am I right?
Amen to that.
Yeah, you want to keep your tentacles safe.
Long before then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the point being that everyone must be careful. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad, white or black, App Store, Apple Store, Google Play Store, which doesn't matter.
White balls, yellow balls.
That's right. We all have to remain cognizant. And it doesn't matter if you start to hear things like, Tom?
Oh, jeez. There it is.
Why aren't you answering my Facebook Messenger?
Yeah.
You know, I sent you several things on Facebook.
And you're ignoring me, Tom.
Yeah, and it's like, well, look, I'm sorry, but I don't have that app on my phone.
Because it listens, Tom.
It does.
It is nefarious. And we've used that word about 16 times today. That and tentacles, Tom. You got to say that one carefully. I almost I filtered that.
That was close. Again, Matthew, keep the hand close by on that buzzer there.
Yeah. Matthew's busy. He's not even paying attention.
I noticed that he didn't look up from that one. That's a pretty interesting screen.
He's staring at his dolly. He's working 9 to 5 is what he's doing, Tom.
Amen. Ain't that a way to make a living?
It is.
So, but so fantastic information, Tom.
Well, here's the thing, Tom.
Okay.
You know, you being a tech guy, I'm kind of a tech guy, but I'm also a marketer. So what I love about data, that is interesting to me. If these apps can figure out what you click, why you click it, where you clicked it, that's interesting to me because, you know, if I'm a manufacturer of a device or I want to create an app that's going to get the best bang for my buck, I want to know how people use it and interact with it. I think the real problem comes in when obviously there's shenanigans, right, where people are stealing personal data and trying to figure out patterns. But I think a lot of people also freak out, especially when the media puts some of these things out that, oh my God, they're stealing my social and they're doing blah, blah, blah. Now, they can. But honestly, the real reality most of the time is they're just trying to get data because data is gold and they'll sell marketing statistics and analytics, et cetera, you know, on a big picture, not necessarily drill down to, hey, Tom Craig clicked that 14 times. Let's go get him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So
yeah,
it's again, from your point of view, I completely understand that where you do want to see that data. And I was talking with somebody earlier this week that there was a Cisco flaw we talked about in our last podcast.
Right. Mainly affected PCs.
The Cisco devices, yes.
Right, that affected PCs.
Absolutely.
Right? Because they're inferior.
Matthew, you can just wipe that part of the recording out. But what I found most interesting is that they were able to tell you how many of those Cisco devices were connected to the internet last week.
Of course.
So again, if they can tell me how many Cisco devices are connected to the internet, I'm certain that they'll be able to tell me how many various Apple products, Android products, legacy Windows devices.
Legacy.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, we should all put them in the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, that's where they're going to end up, Tom.
Be a good start. Yeah. Maybe we could build a tropical reef, Tom, and kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I think we'd kill a lot more than just 2 birds.
We could have. Can you imagine little clownfish swimming by through the Windows logos?
I like the idea.
And they're happy, and there's sea enemas.
Yep.
I said that wrong on purpose.
Yeah.
And there's sharks, and they're happy, and they're swimming around. And it's just this graveyard of garbage.
Yep.
What do you think?
I think as long as the Microsoft logo is dimmed down and the Apple logo is bright and
Oh no, the apples don't belong
vibrant,
down there.
then
No,
it would make total sense.
they could not belong down there.
No?
They just
Okay,
don't.
all right.
So, folks, here's a couple quick tips. We find a lot of vulnerabilities in a lot of the apps that actually get into the Google Play Store, as we just discovered, that can inflict your terrible PC. But if we're being honest, some of these things tend to sneak or get placed into the Apple iTunes store and can be accidentally downloaded on your beautiful device. But what happens if a lot of us get willy-nilly and just want to download everything, right? Like you see a new game, your kids are drooling,
Yep.
Dad, can I have this? Dad, can I download this? Yeah, whatever, kid, just do it, right?
Yep, this game, that game,
Yeah,
whatever.
they broke me down. I'm sick of hearing about
Yep.
it. Just download the damn thing.
Yep.
So what we're finding is that a lot of these free apps tend to have some nothing's free, right?
Amen.
That's what
That's
my dad
exactly
taught
it.
me.
Yep.
Nothing's free in this world. And if you're going to download free apps, there could be a possibility that there's some either shenanigans or a data grab or somebody's getting something out of you, right, Tom?
Absolutely. And if you're using your mobile device for business, I highly recommend that you not download many apps, including Facebook, to your mobile device. But remain very cognizant.
Facebook Messenger, Tom.
Exactly. You know what? Any of them. I've read the fine print on any of the Facebook products, and none of them will ever reach my phone. I'll continue to go through the internet and struggle that way. But no, it's the fact that I have client data, I have personal information in regards to customer networks
And Tentacles.
It's right. It's all encompassing.
Yeah.
That's being texted via email, whatever it is. If it's on the phone, I don't want the microphone being shared with a third party. So you've got to be very, very aware of what apps are on your device and which avenues that they're listening. Is it the microphone? Is it the keyboard? Is it they want to see all of your text messages? It's very important that you think about that and think about what you use your phone for and make sure that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, so before you go to download that shiny object for your kids or yourself, here's a couple rules of thumb that I like to employ, Tom. So first and foremost, is it free? And if it is free, pause and ask yourself, why is this app free?
Great first question.
Think about it, right? Yep. If it's a game and all the cool kids are playing it, yeah, that's okay. But there's probably in-store, like in-game purchases that they got to make their money.
Amen.
You got to think about this. Like, these companies make their money back somehow. So
they're not all like you and I, just putting it out there
givers.
for free.
Yeah.
They're ungrateful and they want something.
Right, taking care of the in-laws.
Me.
We're pampering them.
Yep. So nothing is free. That's a good first tip.
So there's that, right? Think about it. Stop and think before you download. Secondly, the tip I give people, look at who manufactured the actual app before you download it. So, if you're in the Apple store, which you should be, and you look up top and you see, made by X, if it doesn't look like a reputable game maker like EA or, if it's even if it's an app for shopping, I encourage you to look at the developer of that, because if it's a Nordstrom, for example, it would be developed by Nordstrom. Right?
Exactly. Yep.
So that's one indicator there that you could be You want to download the authentic app from the authentic place. So pay attention to that.
Great point.
I got another one. Are you ready?
Right.
Are you excited?
I'm taking notes.
All right. So there's this star rating on each app.
Yep.
And I want you to pay attention to that. If it's a popular app, it's going to have a crap ton of reviews. Whether they're good or bad, it's going to have more than 3.
Again, great point.
So
yep. You don't want to be the first kid on the block to download that new app.
You do not. But pay attention to that and make certain that it's got a pretty in-depth amount of reviews.
Yep.
Obviously, read those reviews too.
Great point. And as well, do your own review.
That's right.
Do your own research. Look it up on the Google.
On the Googles.
Or whatever your preferred
God
search engine is.
God forbid Bing. Let's not go there.
Yeah. We'll skip over the
a Microsoft
Google again.
product.
That's right. But regardless of what you're using, do your own research. Look into the company, especially if this is the first you're hearing about it. Young Billy has come running into the room and wants to install the latest app on your iPhone and wants your code to do it.
Right.
If you haven't heard about it, it's time to look it up. As Tom said, look at those reviews, look at the star rating, look at the company name, form your own opinion.
Right.
Yep. And usually your gut is telling you the right thing.
Listen to your gut, my friend.
Amen.
And hold on to your tentacles.
That's right.
All right. So
speaking of tentacles,
I have one more tip.
No.
Yeah, I do. Bear with me. All right.
Okay.
So if you're about to download an app and there's a description of that app, I want you to read that description, and I want you to make sure that it doesn't sound like it's been written in Swahili or in Kurspakistan.
Good point.
Because that's one way of determining whether this is legit or not.
Yep.
A company like, I'm picking on Nordstrom, I don't know why, just the first one that came to my mind, is going to have a professionally written in the United States description of what the heck it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you see, improper grammar or some goofy uses of words that just don't make sense, that's another good indicator that this could be nefarious, Tom.
That's a great indicator. Yep. As the majority of these, FedEx, UPS, SunTrust Bank, whatever.
Yeah.
The majority of these messages that come across, if they're invalid, have incorrect grammar sprinkled throughout.
You're damn right.
Yep. So keep your eyes open.
Yeah, and your tentacles open.
That's right. And speaking of tentacles,
There he is with the tentacles again, people.
it's that time.
It is
It's time to get the tentacles going and
Yeah.
reach down deep into the.
Get the blood vessels cranking.
Yep.
So it is time to reach deep into the mail sack, and we're gonna reach in there and shuffle some things around and make sure we grab the perfect letter. Who are we talking to today, Tom?
We are talking to Larry out in Las Vegas.
Larry from Las Vegas.
That's right.
I bet you it's hot over there, Tom.
I think it's slightly cooler than here. I think we're like the lucky 20%-ish or something in the United States at this point.
A lot of smog over there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I do know one thing.
What's that?
This is not the podcast to tune into if you're looking for the weather report across the country.
No, it is not. And thank you for correcting me, sir.
We could tell you right here in Orlando, it is beautiful.
It's 82 degrees, sir.
That's right. I'd like to hear that just one more time. What's
It's
the temperature
82
out?
degrees and
Right.
breezy and sunny.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So Larry wants to know about his apps, and when he's downloading, he says he wants to know, can third-party apps take information from other programs on his phone,
Aha.
such as Outlook? So,
Larry, are you talking about your ass or your apps? I misunderstood that.
they reside close to each other, depending on which pocket you keep your phone in.
Well, Larry, that's a tremendous question, my friend. And let me tell you something. You're right to be asking that, because here's the rub. Whether it's a superior Apple that you're on or a piece of crap PC, yes, if there is an outdated app on your phone and you download another one, potentially that one can go rob the assets from the other. See how I worked assets into there, Tom?
that.
Yeah,
I
I was very proud of that.
Note to self.
Yeah, so you may be, using an app that you think is all fine and dandy, and then it goes in and steals data from another app.
Yep.
So what's the remedy to that? What would you tell Larry how to mitigate that, Tom?
I've got to, it comes down to knowing what you have on
Yeah.
my side of the block. And my advice is that you have to really be cognizant of what's on there when you're downloading new things. Think about what's on there. Think about updating. We always talk about updates. Make sure your apps are updated. I know we've talked about this before, Tom. You have yours set to automatically update, as do I.
I do.
So when they're plugged in at night and on the Wi-Fi, they can download and
Do their thing and be happy.
make sure we've got the latest security patches on there. So that's a real big point. But knowing what you have is half the battle. And Tom, what's your tip for Larry on this?
So, Larry, here's the thing. I don't really have a tip, Tom. You already nailed it. So
Yeah.
I was going to try to BS one, but
Yeah.
it wasn't going to work. No.
Yeah.
So it's very critical. But I think the other really important thing is keep the operating system on the device itself
Great point.
updated. So
Yep.
I know, for example, in the Apple world, you click the settings and there'll be an update within the settings. So it's not built into like the update store, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So if you keep that operating system current and up to date, and I'm here to tell you all that you should upload and update your iPhone now because of the FaceTime debacle that we had last week.
Yep.
That update should be hitting your phone this week. But certainly make sure that core operating system is updated, and that'll help potentially keep you safe.
Tom, I got to say, I think that's the best tip. there are several organizations that have us come through quarterly, monthly, whatever the case may be, and make sure that their mobile devices, that the operating systems are all up to date. We use a mobile device management software for that.
That sounds fancy, Tom.
You're in your organization and you want to be able to track all of this without having to dive down into each particular device. Look at a mobile device management, such as there's a few out there, but look at one of those that will tell you on your Apple devices, your Android devices, where the OS is, what updates are required, and that's a fantastic way to save yourself time and keep yourself a little bit more secure.
Well, that's some sound great advice there, Tom, as always from you. And you're like a pro in this world because, God, I mean, the device you use all the time is constantly prone to getting screwed up. So this is like old hat to you.
I tell you, it's I'm glad you can recognize that.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a full-time job when you're working with any operating system,
especially Windows.
There we go. But look at something like AirWatch, if you will, which is a very popular third-party tool to monitor your mobile devices. Again, doesn't matter which operating system they're on, AirWatch will keep track of all of them.
Yeah. It just so happens that some of those operating systems are superior to others.
I don't know which ones are superior to others. That's a topic for a different podcast, Tom.
It is. And Larry, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your smoggy air and writing into the mail sack. Always a pleasure to hear from our loyal listeners, all 23 of you. And I think after yesterday, we might be up to 24, Tom. It's a pretty exciting, the movement is catching on, my friend.
It is catching on. And we thank Angela, who was talking about us yesterday.
She
in her
plugged
meeting.
us, didn't she?
Yeah,
That was very kind.
Yep,
yeah.
Always very nice of her to talk about the T-Squared Tech Talk podcast out there. And I got to say, she just nailed the name. It rolled off the tongue.
She did. It's not easy.
It's not. It took me, like 3 days of practice in front of the mirror.
But you've got it.
Thankfully.
And embrace it.
Yeah, every day.
Now, Matthew still hasn't mastered it. Matthew is our audio engineer, and I'm pretty sure he's watching videos right now and not paying attention.
But that's okay. We're grateful nonetheless, Tom.
We are grateful. An attitude of gratitude is what we're all about, Tom.
Amen, brother.
And, listen, we're grateful for everyone listening. We're grateful for the people who got us here.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for our friendship and how that came about through a particular group we were in.
That's right. That's right. And we're grateful for that, but we'll... It's been an interesting week, hasn't it, Tom?
It most certainly has, my friend. And listen, the bottom line takeaway from this whole episode today is pay really close attention before you push that download button. And I want to offer up one last snippet of advice. If you happen to be on a website in a browser, whether it's on your phone or on your amazing MacBook, if you navigate to a particular website and it wants you to download an app there, I kind of encourage you not to do that, Tom, and let me tell you why.
Please do.
You could, without even knowing it, be on a completely bogus website that is meant to bamboozle you, Tom, into thinking that this is the legit consumer website for that particular product or service or whatever website you're on.
Are you monitoring my phone, Tom? Because that's the call that I got on Wednesday.
Seriously?
Yep. We received a call from Bob here in town.
Bob.
Yep. Bob called and said that he had something on his screen that was insisting that he was infected and he run a scan.
Oh, geez.
But you know what? Bob was on top of it.
Bob didn't click it, did he?
Bob followed our advice.
Good.
And when he saw the flashing thing come up on the screen, he hit the power button.
Good job, Bob.
Great job. Because as I've said for a while now, the operating systems on all devices, doesn't matter,
especially
Apple
Windows
or
and PCs.
Right. Yep. Well, that's right. Especially Windows PCs are smart enough now to where they will rebuild themselves when they're shut down. It used to be the case where if you shut off a Windows computer in the middle of your session, that when you turned it back on, you never knew what kind of havoc had been wreaked by your killing the power.
So if I understand, it's actually taking a pile of crap and duplicating it back into another pile of crap?
It's forming it into a beautiful pile of gold.
It's polishing a turd, Tom, am I right?
And back into what it should be, which is a workhorse of a computer. But don't be afraid to turn off your computer in the middle of a session should you see some flashing, and this goes out to my in-laws especially.
Yeah, Jesus,
if something
please
comes up,
listen to this.
warning, warning,
Yeah.
warning, just shut it down.
Shut it down and walk away.
That's right. Turn it back on a little bit later.
A little bit.
30 seconds to a minute later, and if the odds are that flashing screen will not be there. As you said, Tom, what it usually is somebody will fat finger a website.
Yep.
And instead of Facebook, they'll type in fake book or
Right.
something similar. And now you've got this screen that says you're infected. Click here to scan.
We're all going to die. The in-laws, blah, blah, blah.
You know, it's called scareware for a reason because
Yeah.
it does just that, and it scares the bejesus out of you.
The holy bejesus.
Amen.
Yeah.
So be cognizant of that. If you see something come up on the screen, just shut it down.
Get the hell out of there,
That's
Tom.
right. Yep.
Pull out your tentacles.
That's right.
So my advice, though, ultimately, if you do want to go get a particular app, go into your device, your smartphone, whatever, and go in through the operating system, whether it's Google Play or Apple, and find that particular app. Again, verify it, download it there. So I'm just encourage you never to click from a website or a URL to download an app to your phone.
Fantastic point.
Tom, this was a freaking blast.
It is, and it's always helping.
It is. We are helpful people, Tom.
Yeah, well, I certainly feel better for it. And if you have any questions about this, if there's anything that confused you a little bit, you want some advice, don't hesitate to let us know.
And Tom, this comes to the point, in our show where we're grateful for each other, right?
Grateful is the word of the day, Tom.
I'm grateful for all of the on-target customers, and I know you're grateful for all of your Advanced System Solutions customers and the relationships you've built along the way.
Not just grateful, but blessed.
Blessed
To have met everyone along the way and for everything that we've been able to achieve together. 'Cause
Amen, man.
Together we are all stronger. A rising tide lifts all boats.
I
Tom.
love it, Tom. You're
Yep.
very philosophical today on this
Well, I've
Friday.
had a lot of time to think about it.
You certainly have. Listen, folks, until next time, we're so grateful that you listened. Tune in and make sure I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about next time. Like all things, we'll pull it out of our butt and move on. But Tom, where can folks find you?
At advancedsystemssolutions.com is the URL where we can be found, all thanks to On Target Digital Marketing.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll talk to you real soon. Take care and have a great weekend. It'll be 82 and sunny.
This podcast was recorded at the On Target Podcasting Studio.